In this video, I will be ranking every single weapon that's currently in Ballistic. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. Also remember, at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be ranking every single Fortnite skin, so make sure to subscribe. Let's get straight into the video. Alright, so kicking off our list, in number 10, we have the Ranger Pistol. Now, this is pretty much expected to be at the bottom of the list because the Ranger Pistol has nothing special going on with it. It has no attachments. It's the only gun in Ballistic that does not have any attachments, and everything it does just gets outclassed by every other weapon. It's not supposed to be a good weapon. It's supposed to be a weapon that you start off with. You're supposed to replace it later on, so it's literally a last resort weapon, so there's no point in really ranking it above literally any other weapon on this list. Like, its spray gets outclassed by the SMGs, its range gets outclassed by the ARs, like, everything just does its job better, and that's why the Ranger Pistol is in last place. Alright, in 9th place, we have the Hammer Pump Shotgun. So, in my personal opinion, Ballistic is not a very good game mode for shotguns. This is nothing like normal BR. Shotguns are not the meta. You do not want to be caught with a Hammer Pump Shotgun in Ballistic, otherwise you are probably going to die. Unless your opponent has a Ranger Pistol, you're probably going to die, and even then, if you're at range, you're probably going to die to a Ranger Pistol. So, the only reason it's above the Ranger Pistol is because, you know, if you get in your face, if you get into someone's face, they're going to die because it's a pump. It's going to kill them. But other than that, there's no real point to using this weapon. In number 8, we have the Hand Cannon. So, the Hand Cannon, or the Deagle, is a solid weapon. It's not bad, but it's outclassed by the Reaper Sniper Rifle. If the Reaper wasn't in this, I feel like the Hand Cannon would be quite a bit better, but because it has a weapon that outclasses it, there's no real point in taking the Hand Cannon. Unless you just have really good aim, there's no point, because the Reaper Sniper Rifle is already a weapon that's like very high skill, and the Hand Cannon is basically just that, but worse, so I can't really place it any higher on the list. In 7th place, we have the Frenzy Auto Shotgun. So the Frenzy Auto Shotgun suffers the same problems that the Hammer Pump does, except I believe the Frenzy Auto has a little bit more range, and just the spray nature of the weapon caters better to Ballistic as a game mode. It was like this when they were both in Battle Royale 2. The Frenzy Auto was always the dominant shotgun when compared to the Hammer Pump, because the Hammer Pump's just kind of a weak shotgun in general, but the Frenzy Auto certainly is not what you want in this game mode. It is certainly not the best choice, and for that, I'm putting it in 7th place. Coming up in 6th place, we have the Thunderburst SMG. So this is actually pretty interesting because the Thunderburst was basically the best weapon anytime I was in the game during Chapter 5. And here, it's just kind of middle of the road. So obviously, we're kind of getting more to the spray kind of weapons of the list. And obviously, that's going to cater more towards actual spraying rather than spraying in bursts. Now, this wouldn't be as much of a problem if this was more of a long-range weapon. Because of the attachments that the Thunderburst has in this game mode, it just doesn't really work out as well. You want to be closer to someone with the Thunderburst, and when you're that close and you have an SMG, you might as well take the Hyper because you're going to get your damage output out faster. So, for that reason, I'm putting the Thunderburst at 6. It just is outclassed by the other SMG in Ballistic. Coming in at number 5, we have the Hyper SMG. As I just said, it outclasses the Thunderburst as an SMG because if you're in someone's face with an SMG, you'd rather just get that damage out quick. You don't want to be stuck waiting for another burst because then you're probably going to die. So for that reason, I put the Hyper SMG above it. It's also just a straight spray weapon. It's not, oh, here's a little burst, then here's a little burst, then here's a little burst. No, none of that. It's just spray. And yeah, really all I can say about it. It's just an overall better version of the Thunderburst in this game mode. Kind of weird how like they kind of switch sides based on how they were in Battle Royale to how they are in Ballistic. It's kind of weird how it works, but you know, what can you really do? At number 4, we have the Reaper Sniper Rifle. So I know some people might be mad at this choice because it is the most expensive weapon in the game, and I feel like it definitely can get the most done. But the problem with the Reaper Sniper Rifle is it has a really high skill gap. You need to have like perfect aim in order for this to be effective. So just missing your shots is not gonna be worth it. You know, it's a high skill, high reward, and that high skill is the reason I can't put it any higher on the list. It's a good weapon, and certainly better than everything below it on this list, but I can't warrant putting it any higher just simply because of the high skill factor. If you want to be consistent, you should take any of the weapon above it on this list. So yeah, that's it. Good weapon, but it's just too skill heavy to really be consistent, in my opinion. Now we just have the ARs left, and in number 3, we have the Nemesis AR. The Nemesis AR suffers from just being like a hodgepodge of the other two and not doing their jobs very well. See, the Nemesis is a slower firing AR that does kind of medium damage. So that's a problem when you have a slower firing AR that does a lot of damage and a fast firing AR that does little damage. You have very drastic ends of both sides, and the Nemesis just kind of tries tries to play in the middle, and it doesn't really do its job as well. That being said, it's still a good weapon. Like, if you pick a Nemesis AR, you're probably still gonna do well, but I just don't think it does the job of the Striker or the Enforcer better than those weapons. So that's why it's in third place. In second place, we have the Striker AR, which may be shocking to some of you because, you know, the Enforcer was not very good in Battle Royale, which is kind of weird, and the Striker is always kind of the dominant AR, but I'll explain my reasoning here. The Striker, yes, it's good, but I feel like the spray kind of AR is better when you're up close, and the Striker just doesn't do that job as well from as far away because it's an AR. You're going to be using it at quite a bit of range. So I just feel like the range factor kind of plays a part in putting this lower on the list than many of you might expect. And I know a lot of people will probably put this at 1, even though I believe the range factor kind of does affect how good this weapon actually is, but that's just how it works. You know, in my opinion, it's also not as satisfying to use as the Enforcer, which I'll get onto later when I talk about the Enforcer. But yeah, I feel like it's not as good as the Enforcer. It's just, I'd rather take that. And in number 1, I've already talked about it, but the Enforcer AR is my first place pick, which is kind of shocking because the Enforcer AR was never really good in Battle Royale. It was always the last pick, and seeing it in first place is kind of a shock. The Enforcer AR in this game mode basically got a whole rework. It's a lot more DMR-esque now. It's got less shots. I believe it shoots slightly slower than it does in Battle Royale. Could be wrong about that. But it also has a P2X scope, which is a really solid scope, and the damage output is really good on this thing. Body shot, it's just average kind of slow firing AR body shot, but the headshot, instant. I believe the Nemesis is also instant, but its body shot is lower. I could be wrong on that, and I believe the Striker is not instant with headshot. The Enforcer AR is just really satisfying too. Like, it feels really good to use. When I hit that shot, it's like, ooh, nice. Can't really say the same about the Striker or the Nemesis. I just don't feel that same feeling I do when I hit one with an Enforcer. And, you know, for all those reasons is why I have to put the Enforcer at first place. It's just the most satisfying weapon, and it's just the most effective in my hands, and I just feel like it's the best in my opinion. Honestly, if you take one of these ARs, you're probably gonna do well. It's just they're the most consistent weapons. They're the most well-made weapons in my opinion for this game mode. So honestly, these are kind of debatable. Like, if you want to put the Nemesis at first place, which is kind of crazy, and then the Striker at like 3rd or something, or the Enforcer in 2nd, like, you could totally do that, but in my opinion, this is how the list should go. Alright, if you guys enjoyed that video, consider leaving a like and subscribing and using code WATSOG in the Fortnite item shop. Also remember, at 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be ranking every single Fortnite skin, so make sure to subscribe. Alright, see you in the next one. Later.